It'll be in the middle of the meeting when it
Well,
comes to my
We
mind.
haven't played in we haven't played since last March, so it's pretty
Oh.
much disbanded at this point.
Yeah, but I'm thinking in the last couple of years. Oh, shoot.
There was Ron Essig was from the old crew.
Yeah.
Terry Molnar was from the old crew. Pretty much that's it from the old crew. Everybody else was pretty young.
How about Joan and Alan? Alan?
Yeah, Al Hansen played.
Al Hansen, yeah.
Yeah,
That's-
Al Hansen played up until about 8 years ago.
Yeah,
Yeah.
8 and 10.
So when did
8,
you stop? George, you stopped playing just last year in March when?
COVID.
Yeah, okay.
Oh, they may come back. They just stopped because of COVID.
I'm not coming back, that's for sure.
Really?
No, I'm done with basketball.
So,
Injuries, and now that I'm retired, I can do my exercising during the days. And, I skied today, for instance, so I'm gonna be tired by the time the evenings come.
did anybody try to sign up for the COVID shot today? Hi, Melody. You've been very quiet.
Oh, I was talking earlier.
Did anybody try to sign up for the COVID?
I know April was trying to. It's glitching everywhere. We got an email from Natalie Blay,
Yep.
Rep Blay, saying, sorry guys, it's not working.
You get on and it would crash. You get on and it would crash. You'd get on and it would say, this spot has so many spots, so many openings. And then you'd get there and they'd say, there are no openings. It took forever. We stopped after about an hour and a half in the morning. And then we started up again this afternoon for about 45 minutes and thought, we're not going to do this anymore.
You
Yeah.
might want to try calling, they have an assistance line.
Yeah.
They might be able to get online quicker than you can.
Did you? Yeah, but they said that,
The whole system was failing, Natalie said.
Even that, okay.
yeah, well, what happened was if you called 211, I couldn't get 211. It was blank. It wouldn't pick up. But anyway, there was somebody on neighborhood Shutesbury who called and 211 and he finally got somebody to answer and they were going through the same thing this person was going through trying to sign up and they were not successful. They were just like, it was as if they were online trying just like you were anyway, or we were.
Do you guys know many people who will not take the vaccine? I know a few. I was just curious how prevalent it is,
Nope.
because that's going to be the interesting piece.
Becky,
I've heard some people say that they're doubtful, but they said they would do it anyways.
everybody I know is anxious to get it.
Yeah.
But Becky, did you get my email about changing my email address from Mike's to mine? It's going to Mike.
Okay, so yours,
It's,
tell me what it is again.
okay, it's really important because some of this stuff gets lost. He tries to bring it up to me and sometimes I see it. But anyway, my email is all lowercase, P, and then the word and then M, as in Mike. And mine is at iCloud.com. It's the same beginning, Pandem Ross. Did I give you Ross?
The iCloud, because I thought that was the same.
Yeah, it's just PANDM Ross. I think I forgot to tell you Ross, ROSS.
Okay.
Take out, yeah, and take out Mike.
Okay.
All right, thank you. Very important.
And somehow I listed the accountant instead of Melody on the 16th. I can't explain it in any way, but I think I have the group fixed. I'll go in and make this correction,
That
Peg.
would be good. I appreciate that.
Be good. And so Ralph, we need Ralph to make a quorum, right? Unfortunately, Melissa was ready to go on the 11th, but has another commitment tonight, so she's not coming. I'm going to try to track down Ralph.
Okay,
How many members is this committee?
this will be it.
So
If Ralph joins us, it's the four of us and Becky is the administrative person. So have you been on it before and I missed you because we've hardly met this year, George? Or are you a new member?
So I'm on the finance committee and I've been on the finance committees off and on for a number of years. When I was on the previous stint in the finance committee, I was a representative to the personnel board. So I'm not sure exactly what years those were. I'm really sketchy on that. Probably 2011 through 2017, something like that. So that's when I was on the personnel board, and I'm filling in. Becky asked me to fill in until April can be appointed in July.
Aha, good. And so Melody, you're also representing the finance, the FinCom?
Mhm.
George is not representing.
Yeah,
Oh, you're a fill-inner.
yes,
Good.
at large.
That's
But
good
He's
because
gonna
we,
keep me honest though, so I can't lie. when we have the FinCom.
You're farther ahead than I am.
it just feels like we've been
That's the
sparse.
usual, Melody. So let me, I'm gonna go find Ralph.
Oh, I thought you did. Okay.
Take a look at the agenda in the meantime.
Does anybody know if we're actually gonna get snow tonight? Because I don't see it doing anything.
Yeah, we're supposed to get 1 to 4 inches before sunrise, and then maybe another 2 tomorrow potentially.
Okay,
Very light, but constant.
okay. We can't really complain since we have heat and water.
Yeah, good
Yeah,
point.
boy, and living in the state of Texas, wow. I mean, there's the state that has the most energy. They've screwed it up.
Yeah, they export it all.
Yeah,
Well, and they obviously don't have good what's the word I'm thinking of?
infrastructure.
Infrastructure. They just don't have it with everything else. And then what's his name goes to Mexico. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
Tom Cruise. I
Yeah.
saw that. He came back today.
Oh, he did?
Yeah, because of the pressure.
Good.
He was criticized heavily, and he had to
Oh,
respond
gosh,
to it.
should have been. Yeah, just taking his family off to Mexico for a sunny place with heat and water
In the middle of a pandemic.
in the middle of a pandemic. Yeah,
Yeah,
Well,
didn't show a lot of sensitivity to his constituents.
No,
not.
My son Sam is in Abilene, and I think 95% of the city is without power. The water treatment plant didn't have power for 2 days, so the water stopped, and
And they're having to treat the water now or boil it, right?
Yes.
you have to boil it. But Sam, I didn't realize how lucky he was, but he's in a new development that went up about 3 years ago. And on every neighborhood on all sides is without power, except for this, 50
Wow.
houses in this one little section. It's just so fortunate for them.
Because he's got a little one, right?
They've got a 4-year-old. He just turned 5. He turned 5, but he's it's an all electric house. They have a fireplace, but there's no place you could get wood, and so thank God. I was afraid all the pipes were going to burst, like they are in a lot of the homes. And
They
he
say one of
has
the stresses on the water systems is people are running their drips to keep the water from
Right.
freezing.
Yeah. But
And
it's
there have a lot of pipes burst. Well, it makes me think about back in 2008 or 2009 when we had that 6 or 7 day of the ice storm that we had. It was like in November or December.
December of '08, wasn't it?
Yeah, oh wait.
I'll never
And
forget it.
with no water, no power.
A whole week.
Uh-huh.
it was 9 days.
Oh, was it 9?
Yeah, I was
And I remember how
I
I
was
spent.
like the last one to go on. You were across the street and you had power 3 days before me.
Oh, is that what happened? Yeah, okay. Because and the main road had power like 4 days before I did.
Yeah.
But Leonard Road, they had to restring all of Leonard Road, which is where my juice comes from. They had to take all the lines down. They had to put up new transformers and put new lines up.
George, do you happen to have a cell number for Ralph?
I don't think I do. I haven't talked to Ralph. I can't tell you the last time I talked to Ralph.
Okay. I thought I had one.
He said he was coming.
Yeah,
Didn't
he
he
did
respond?
confirm.
No, I haven't talked to Ralph in ages.
No. So
You
he's,
called us home, Becky?
Yeah, I did. But it didn't go to the answering machine. I'm gonna try again. It rang and rang and rang. So maybe he was on the line.
Yeah, if you have call waiting, that's what,
So I'll
yeah,
just
that's
try
what
again.
happens.
oh dear.
Yeah, this is gonna be very frustrating.
And I was telling Becky, I have not been appointed yet.
Oh,
Because
well, we won't tell anybody. You're an observer, right? Of just somebody.
Well, I'm coming up to speed.
And I missed last night's meeting. I had it on my book, but I couldn't get the URL to work. And I gave up at 25 after, what was it, 6:30 or 6? I gave up 25 minutes later after trying to get in to the
you mean
all
for
boards
the all
meeting.
boards meeting?
I
Yeah.
couldn't get in. Yeah, I did miss it. I had it, it was 20 to 25 minutes worth of trying different things and it just wouldn't let me in. And I figured, well, maybe.
That was on Tuesday night, not last night.
Oh, was it? Yeah, then it was Tuesday night. And it said there were going to be 52 people plus, and I thought, well, maybe does Zoom ever limit the numbers?
I don't know.
You didn't get beyond 35.
Oh, well, I have no idea. I have no idea why I couldn't get in.
That's so frustrating. I'm sorry, Peg. If that ever happens, try calling in.
Well, how do you do that?
There's a number there's a number in the second set of logins
Uh-huh.
that are all numerical. And you just dial that number and type in the logins.
Oh, okay. Didn't know you could do that.
Yeah, and the information is on the agenda just below the other information.
Was it a good meeting? Was it good? Good meeting?
Informative.
Mm-hmm.
Melody, what do you think? Being a first timer.
To what? What?
All boards, oh, you couldn't make the all boards.
Well,
Or were you
Jim-
there?
no, I wasn't there. Jim told me it was optional.
Yeah.
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 I got it.
And unfortunately, I won't be able to make Saturday's meeting. I didn't realize we were meeting Saturday.
Well,
what-
that's only the subcommittee.
Oh, that's
Remember
right.
you guys voted for
That's right. Oh,
Roy
good.
and
Okay,
AJ and
great.
Susie. So you're good there too.
Okay, even though I gave my, well, I'm regretfully not making it, but that's okay.
Now I'm getting, it's saying that Ralph's phone number isn't good, but maybe I made a mistake. No, 1021. So I'm sending a second email. Oh, yikes.
It's possible he thinks it's at 6:30.
I was
Is
wondering,
that possible?
Didn't
Or is
he
it
at one
always 6?
time want to do 6:30 instead of 6?
Yeah, well, but when we started at 5:30, he said 6 would be fine.
Right. He says he's traveling on Thursdays or something.
Just commuting to work.
Oh,
Now his phone, it's saying not in service. He wouldn't have just disconnected to avoid me, would he? Oh my goodness. I guess I could drive down there, but this is silly.
well, there's 2 members, right? And we need,
Not a
Three.
quorum. You need 3. That's why it's gonna be helpful once George gets appointed.
you want me to look up his number in the phone book just to make sure?
Sure.
Okay.
And if I could find, I know I've used his cell, but I can't find it. Maybe if I go this way.
I think I have it here. Is it 636-2166?
6362166. That's the cell?
That's what popped up on the web.
Oh, wow. Okay, I'll try it.
413 probably. Huh?
Yeah, it is 413. It is. Yeah, it shows his house in Shutesbury when I click on it. Did you get that number, Becky?
What?
You got the number?
Straight to voicemail.
It's Ralph's voice?
No,
voice.
voicemail.
No, I'm
Could you-
saying the voicemail, oh, it's a recorded voicemail.
Maybe you could text
Hey,
it.
Ralph, we are trying to search you down so that we could have a meeting tonight. We're one short of the quorum and desperately need you at to Zoom the personnel board meeting. So I'm going to text you next, and please log in as soon as possible if you get any of these messages. Thank you. Bye.
So the number you've been calling locally is 259-1021.
Yes.
Okay.
Peg, do you want to try it from your house in case my phone is acting weird?
Sure. I'll catch him.
We're trying everything.
Yeah.
Okay, and Melody had a good idea. I'm going to text him.
I can see his house from mine. I could send little SOS signals with my flashlight. I suppose I could put on my boots and walk down there and knock on his door.
Yeah,
That's above and beyond for the committee.
Yeah, it's feeling like it would be above and beyond. That's how motivated I am to do it.
well, you know, that might get you through the initiation process.
All right, I guess if we're that desperate, I can do it. It's not a short walk.
His local number is not in service, it says. Same thing you got.
I wonder if he's having connection issues in his house.
Ah, maybe that's why you can't log on.
Although he is a
George,
tech
where do
guy.
you live? I heard you talking about walking. Where do you live in relationship to his house?
I live on 15 Pelham Hill Road. I'm the first house after where Phil Kinder's house is. It's not
Mhm.
Phil's anymore, of course. And Ralph lives on Leverett Road,
Right, I knew where
kitty
he
corner
lived.
to that.
So that would be what, 5 to 10 minutes for you?
Yeah. I could do it. I mean, you know, but I
Yeah,
have to
I could
change. I'm
drive
not
down-
really dressed for it.
I can drive down faster than that if you
Oh, I
want.
can drive down faster than that too. You want me to go over to his house?
He'll be really surprised because he doesn't know you're on the committee yet. And I swear, I feel I've had that. Would you be up to it, George?
I'll do it right now. I'll be
Okay.
back.
Okay. And then and we'll talk about rescheduling another night in case you don't get anywhere.
I'll be back in 5 minutes. I'm going to take my truck.
Wonderful. Thank you.
Strange.
Yeah, because he did respond, right?
Well, if his phone is, yeah, he responded and said he was going to be there.
Yep.
Does he have Crocker? If his phone is out, then he probably can't log in.
Yeah. So can I just ask a question? It's just a question about the relationship of the personnel, let's see, hold on. The personnel policies handbook, this one, the pink one, in relationship to the employees handbook, in relationship to the personnel bylaw. Tell me about the relationship of those three things.
The bylaw is was originally approved at town meeting. So the bylaw is the fixed item.
Do we have that? Do we have copies of that?
Yeah, you got them. You read them for that meeting we had with the assessors 2 years ago. But I can send it to you again.
Oh, wait, I just don't know. Okay, no, I've got that. Okay, I've got that here.
Yep.
Got this here.
Melody, do you have the bylaw?
No, I just have the pink book.
Okay, so we need to get you the bylaw.
Let me, wait, let me double check. No, sorry, I have the bylaw, sorry.
Okay.
So
That-
the other question is, and what's the relationship of what about the employee's handbook?
Okay, so the employee's handbook is basically, it's the employee manual. I'm sorry, the handbook is a summary of all the policies. And that book can be changed without going to town meeting. The policies can be updated, like adding the longevity of, we're gonna need to add 50-year longevity. It goes every 5 years.
Mhm.
But that can be added to the personnel board votes and acts on changes to the handbook.
Which is, you're talking about this, or there's a separate
No, that.
employee?
Yeah, the handbook, policies handbook.
Okay, so the personnel policies handbook is the same thing as the employee's handbook.
Yep.
Okay, because we've been using those two terms, and I've been going through my stuff thinking, wait a minute, am I confusing?
Because the personnel policies handbook is handed out to employees.
Okay, thank you very much. That clarifies my thoughts on all that paperwork.
Okay. That's good.
And actually, I don't know if this is official meeting stuff, but were we supposed to go through this and look for problems with this, or is that going to be?
We will be, we weren't going to address that tonight, so
Okay.
I'm sure you found 4 missing pages that I need to get you.
Yeah, I have that down. I have just a couple things down that I had questions about, but now that that's clarified for me, that's a big thing, because I had, that's the stuff we were looking at last year.
Yeah,
We really haven't met that much. We just met last year in 2019. And the end of 18, we didn't meet that much. 2020 and 2019.
because when Anna resigned, she stopped, she was the chair and she was driving the meeting schedule. And
Okay.
it took a while for me to get you guys assembled. But I think we have an amazing team if we can just find Ralph. That'll be interesting.
And you said April will be coming on the board when she leaves the select board?
Yeah, because we have so much stuff that needs to be addressed. I went back to people who are familiar with what everything is, so we can get some real work done.
Good.
There's a lot we need to resolve. We got to finish off the handbook changes and get that out and get it available for people. And we also need to deal with the salary compensation chart and make sure that everybody's comfortable with the way it's working. It used to be a very standardized chart, and there were 3% increases every year, and it flowed. And then 12 years ago, we started having 1.5% increases, 2% increases, 3%. And the way the chart worked, it just started going buggy. And it became huge to have, every year had a different rate increase. And it's so one thing that Jim Walton and Ralph did do is they did the update of the salary compensation chart, and it's formula driven, so we can make changes easier. But we just, instead of we're just going, you can't go back. And I mean, an employee can't go here and say, oh, if I am here 5 more years and go up 5 steps, this is what I'll be making, because the rates alter all the time. So there's no clear answer to that question for them, for employees. But we have that new chart to review and make sure it's working right as we go into this year. we have the meeting on March 2nd with the Finance Committee and the Select Board to talk about the COLA and determine what that's going to be. And then after that's figured out, we can have some time to update the chart and get that out to people with the new handbook.
Yay.
Yeah, banner
Get
year.
that done. It would be really nice to get that done.
Yep. Mhm.
Been hanging on for a while.
Yes, it has. And April brings back, she has institutional knowledge. She's been on and off of the personnel board since, oh, it's Ralph. Hello? Ralph!
I got through to him.
Good.
And he answered the door. He was there. He thought the meeting was canceled. Because of the banner on the subject on the email that was going around said personnel
But
board.
that was
canceled.
the banner from the 11th. I shouldn't have reused that. That's my fault. I confused you.
Uh-oh.
I know you always celebrate when we cancel a meeting.
Was he surprised to see a truck driving up his driveway?
Yeah, he was. He had a perplexed look in his face
Go
and then
to
a surprised look when he saw it was me.
Shutesbury.org website,
I haven't talked to Ralph in about a year,
Shutesbury.org.
but he did say he would
under
appoint me to the
meetings.
personnel board.
Oh, good.
Find the calendar under meetings.
Well, thank you for doing that.
Oh, you're welcome.
Makes it, we've had so many meetings that have been postponed and canceled. It's, we're not functioning very well.
No, I understand.
Is that one of the backgrounds that Melody has behind her?
Go to the calendar.
He has quite an array of them.
Yeah, I
The 18th, go to the 18th and you'll
prefer
see
that you not see my messy housekeeping.
that up and you'll see a link right there.
This is the
No, it's-
studious one.
Yeah, I had Bernie for a while. Now I have books, you know.
Oh yeah, that's right. You had the Bernie mittens, didn't you?
I did. And when I use the same computer for work, so when I do work ones, I have UMass, of course.
Well, last time we met, you had UMass on it.
Yeah. Probably left over from the day.
I've never played with that feature. I should figure out how to do that.
Yeah, it's fun. You can,
Get Ralph?
So is there a library of them or? you
yeah,
have-
yeah. There's a library that comes with it. And then you can just get your own pictures and put them up there.
And I
Or you
got
can
your-
Google
your
Zoom
Zoom-
backgrounds. This is
yeah,
a
your
Zoom
email
background.
phone
And then
number.
you just add it to the Zoom folder.
I'm sorry. That wasn't
Yeah, I'll
helping.
definitely work on that.
Yeah. Okay.
We,
Right.
at work, we had a competition on who had the best Zoom background.
I was at work one day and the guy at the end of the meeting went to a Star Trek background. He went black for a minute, put on a Star Trek shirt with a little symbol
gosh.
on it, and then he came back with Star Trek. Apparently a Trekkie, IT guy, of course.
Yep.
So what do you say, Becky?
He's logging on to his phone, so let's hope it works.
Why not his computer?
Yeah. What about his
Didn't
computer?
ask.
It was on his phone last time.
I think he had trouble with the computer, I think 3 times ago. Can't remember why.
Again, he's the IT guy.
Yeah, that's well, I saw my grandson was dressed up like Darth Vader the other day,
Whoa.
wearing his Optimus Prime mask, and his dad went to the cloth store and made a big cape for him,
Wow.
running all
Wow.
around the house.
So what is Sam doing in Texas?
He's flying C-130s for the Air Force.
Good for him.
Hmm.
He and Katie were in the same class, right?
Yep,
And she's out in Colorado.
not far away.
Yeah, well, they it used to be everybody stayed sort of close to everybody, but not anymore. We've
Not
got-
my kids.
Where are your kids?
San Francisco and New York City.
Well, New York City isn't too bad. Our
Oh,
close.
it's good. We
Yeah,
love visiting them.
yeah.
He's actually in Jersey City now. He was in New York for about 5 years, but he crossed the river, but still, 2 train stops away from the financial district. So
Yeah.
we love visiting.
Where
Good.
did you live? I used to live in New York for 9 years.
Wow. In the
We're in
city.
New York.
I was on the Upper West Side near Columbia.
Oh, nice. Beautiful
My,
area.
My dad worked at 475 Riverside Drive.
That's exactly where I worked.
Did you?
Yes.
Amazing.
Small world.
Yeah.
Wow. Your dad was
Incredible.
church affiliated?
Yeah, he is Presbyterian and he ended up the secretary for Southeast Asia for a while. And then he was right before the Presbyterians, they moved their headquarters to Oklahoma, Kansas. I can't, one of those two places. But he worked there. He was, when they dismantled, he was like one of the 3 top people
Wow.
in the church.
Yeah, I worked up there. I worked there on the 17th floor,
Oh my God, I think my dad was the 18th or 20th.
15 years.
Wow,
Wow.
this is a
Wow.
small world.
Yeah,
The
That's
view from
incredible.
there is amazing.
it is. I have great pictures of the Hudson and Grant's Tomb. Yep.
Boy, you were on the 17th floor. I got it.
Is Grant's Tomb worth a visit?
It is actually. I really enjoyed it. And
I think I'm going to do that.
and it's free. I mean, it's nice, you know.
What
We're
was,
always looking for something different to do when we're in the city. That would
No,
definitely be
it is.
different.
There's a ton of stuff about Grant that you don't know. And I never knew he had such a strong New York City connection, but he did.
Yep. He spent his last number of years there writing
did.
his memoirs.
He did.
Did you read Chernow's book? Yeah, Grant, U.S. Grant, Ron Chernow. It's a great read.
Oh, wow. Yeah, it's
The
behind me.
same-
Let
the
me
same-
grab it.
Same author that wrote Hamilton.
Oh, wow. Okay.
He also wrote George Washington, which was also an excellent read. And Hamilton was a great read. I read all 3 of them. I thought they were wonderful books.
Huh.
Yeah, Grant was a character. I mean, smart guy. Apparently, he liked to drink. When he drank, he just went right off the rails. Yeah, and way ahead of his time in terms of social issues.
Hmm.
The issues with racism, he was way ahead of his time. Well advanced. Impressive person.
Well, after Donald Trump, he's no longer probably considered among the bottom of the
Yeah.
presidents.
Ay. I don't know how low you can go.
and what,
Oh, let's hope we've seen the bottom.
Yeah, really.
yeah, for sure. What was the name of the author on those books?
Ron Chernow, Chernow.
Right, okay.
Hmm.
That's what I thought.
Great history books.
Well, Mike's a history buff, so
Oh,
You
they're
should
very
look.
well written. When I picked up Hamilton because I heard the hubbub, and I thought, yeah, and they're all thick. They're all 800-page books. And I
Good.
thought, no way, I'm going to get through this. And I was taken right from the start. It was just, I thought it was well read, well written, and really interesting story. Hamilton's story is very interesting.
yeah.
Hmm.
Well, Mike's gotten to the point where he's read a lot of his books twice in the last year and a half, and he needs to move on.
Look
Whoa,
who's
look
there.
who's there.
Yay.
He's switching to audio.
Yeah, he's muted right now. You're muted, Ralph.
We can keep talking about him then. He can't defend himself.
You
Melody,
just watch the facial responses.
who were you working for?
I worked for the Ministers and Missionaries Benefit Board, American Baptist Churches.
Nice.
Yeah. You may not know it, but I'm an ordained American Baptist minister.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Wow,
Didn't know that.
Yeah.
that's great.
Can anybody hear me now?
Yes.
Hear
Yes.
you.
Okay. Outstanding.
Good to see you.
Sure.
Well worth the wait, Ralph.
Oh, never.
And we used our secret weapon. You didn't even know George was going to be on the committee.
Wow. George came down here. I figured it was somebody that wanted to, sign me up for some new committee. Since I'm a Republican, they want to replace Donald Trump with me.
So for George, are we going to,
Appoint?
I'm writing notes. Yes,
Yes.
point.
I would like to appoint George to the committee. Becky, how do we do that?
I think you have to ask Paul Lyons to do it. The
Okay.
moderator has to be the one
Oh,
that does
that's
it.
right.
Okay,
So,
so,
well, now we can't hear Becky. Which, did she turn her sound off?
Yeah, I think her phone rang.
Oh,
so then that means I will then send an email to Paul Lyons, the town moderator, asking him to appoint George.
Yes.
Okay, what we will do while we're waiting for Becky. Goodbye.
Sorry about that. I had to take that call. Okay, so is Ralph getting the agenda squared away?
No, what I'm doing is I'm going to send an email to the town moderator asking him to appoint George to the committee.
Great.
And let's see, I'm just looking for town moderator.
okay. I'm saying we officially started at 6:37.
Excellent.
How does that work?
All right. Excellent. Wow. I'm having a hard time finding Paul Lyons' email address.
I'll send it to you.
Thank you very much. Then I'll stop looking.
Okay. And it's okay if you do it after the meeting. I think he's engrossed and won't be able to respond right away.
Yep.
And I gave him all your information, so he'll be reaching out to you.
Okay. Yeah, all I need is his email address, and then I'll send him an email requesting that George be appointed.
Okay. Here you go.
Did you see where I put all those personnel action forms that I signed? Okay,
Yep.
good.
In my box. Thank you.
Thank you.
And speaking of personal action forms, I have one more for you, Ralph.
Okay.
This is the one from Mary Ryan.
Okay.
And she was hired to be the Board of Health COVID contact tracer. It's
Okay,
a
so
part-time temporary position. When things got really bad and in December, Board of Health was worried that that Arlene Reed was being overrun. She's our Board of Health volunteer. So they reached out to Mary, who's doing the same work she's also a nurse doing the same work in Leverett. So this is the backup person. They haven't had to use her yet, but she's there in case they do need her.
okay.
Do you guys want to vote to have Ralph sign that when he comes in?
I make a motion. You mean that he should sign the PAFs?
Mm-hmm.
Anybody second that?
Second.
Okay,
All those in favor?
Aye.
I,
And Becky, when's it? I can if I can knock on the front door of the town hall tomorrow, I can sign it tomorrow.
Great. I'll put it in. I'll be here. What time do you go through? 8:30?
Actually, I'm working out of the house tomorrow, so I'm a little bit more flexible than usual. So, you know, if it's like around 9 o'clock, I can be up there about 9 just to sign it, and then
Great. I'll be there. And ring the bell.
very good. I'll ring the bell and I'll come up and sign.
Excellent. I'll put
As
it
long
up.
as the snowstorm's going to not be too big.
Yeah.
I'm joking.
Okay, so that's the first agenda item.
I'm just going to the welcome. You got mail. Let's see. I just have to find my
Here, I'll tell you what it is if you want the agenda.
yes,
Police
please.
union negotiations, right?
Yeah, police union negotiations. I just wanted to make sure you guys are updated. I think I mentioned before that currently we have no officers in the union, which is, we haven't had this circumstance before. We've been down to one a number of times, but not none. This may change. We have our new officer, Marcus Johansson, is graduating from the academy tomorrow. And I think he is aware of the union. So there might be some interest. I've reached out to the Teamsters representative, Tony Torres, and he said that what we should do this year, it's normally a renegotiation for a 3-year contract, but since this is such a strange year, we suggested we do a 1-year MOU extension of the contract and not make any new changes to it.
What's MOU?
Memorandum of Understanding.
Okay,
So that would just keep all the rates and everything in place that, you know, that the regular 3% increase would be in effect for this coming year. And Tony is working on writing up the MOU for the 1-year extension. And I just wanted to talk to you guys about it in case you have any feedback or concerns about it.
The one concern I have would be, I guess we would want to run that by the FinCom, and would they be okay with just a 3% coming in under an MOU?
Becky, you said,
It's actually the select board that signs off on the contract. I mean, that would be, the practice hasn't been, the finance committee has a member typically on the negotiating team.
Yeah,
So it's usually, the agreement is done in executive session with the negotiating team and then taken to the select board. We typically, that would be an abnormal practice just to go to them separately.
okay.
I'm not
And what
sure.
would, and what would this, and how do you think the select board would feel about us signing or agreeing to an MOU where we have a 3%?
They actually are the signers. So they would have to agree to do that. And they might want a full, you know, they might want the regular committee to be formed to review it, which
Hmm.
sounds like a good idea from the comments that you are being made. Even if it's a simple 1-year extension, we should probably get a subcommittee together to talk about it.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Becky,
what I
did
feel.
I hear you correctly? There's nobody currently would be impacted by that in the current year. So signing it has no financial impact unless this one person chooses
Well,
to become.
It actually does, because the police, whatever the union members get, non-union members get as well. That was a change with Janice.
My computer, it stopped for a second. Could you just repeat that last?
Sure, non-union members receive the same rate of pay
Oh,
as
okay.
union members.
Okay, all right.
So it would impact the members of the department.
And just for the record, who was it that, who suggested that we may just want to extend it a year from, who was the person from the union that you talked with?
His name is Tony Torres. And he's our Teamsters representative.
Okay,
So that sounds like we need to form a subcommittee. Do I have a personnel board representative?
I could do it.
Okay. Okay,
and what are you going to call the subcommittee?
it'll be the union, police union negotiating team.
Okay,
Who else is going to be, who will be the other members of that committee?
There'll be one from select board and one from finance. So
Okay. Good.
great. That's a good plan. Thank you, Ralph.
Okay.
Yeah, finance committee, both are meeting on Tuesday, so we probably can keep this moving.
Okay.
And get that done, because Melody will remind me too. Okay, the next item is job description updates, contracts, and calendar. As you recall, you all got a copy of the police chief job description to review, and a copy of it went also to our current police chief. He did not find any changes. We did make a lot of updates when Tom left 2.5 years ago. So he's not asking for any changes to be made. Did you all see anything you were concerned about?
I read through it a while ago and I was looking through it today, this afternoon, and I made no marks or anything that yes, so I don't think I had any concerns.
No, and I was reviewing it and nothing jumped off the page at me
Right,
to change it. So I think we can we should go with it.
leave it to the pros. No, I didn't see anything that jumped out at me. Yeah, I've got it here.
Melody, did you see anything?
No.
All right, so it's good to go. It'll stay the same. Stay as is, and I'll add that it was reviewed February of 2021.
February 25, 2021.
Okay. The next item, contracts. I just wanted to bring it up to you all because it came up in the fall. This year we have there would have been a new contract for the police chief, but he's leaving, so we don't have that. The highway superintendent is looking at an extension of either 3 months or a year and 3 months. But he's been researching all his retirement information to make that decision. So we don't have new language for him yet. I mean, the duration of the contract yet. The fire chief wrote into, if Melody, you probably weren't aware, but the fire chief contract in 2018 got quite contentious and ended up in legal situation at town meeting where the fire department was backing their chief, saying he had asked for a $20,000 increase originally, and then when he went public, when he didn't get close to that, he got very upset about it, and his officers went straight to the newspapers and said that, you know, the beloved long term chief had not been given what he felt he needed in a raise, and the whole department threatened to quit, to resign. So at that point, Walter made public that he was asking for $10,000 more, not the 20 that he had started at. And he demanded he get the $10,000 raise or he would leave. And it was a very contentious month. Lawyers were involved, and his lawyer wrote the new contract. It's the only contract out of all of ours that is more in depth and more detailed. And in that contract, there was a clause saying that if the town didn't start negotiations before January 1st of this year, that he automatically got a 1-year extension and doesn't need to negotiate that 1-year extension. So he is planning to retire in June 30th of 2022. And then finally, the town administrator's contract is out there. We talked about that one. Ralph volunteered to be on that committee. And when I went to the select board, they were too busy to deal with it. So I'm taking it back to them because it's 3 months away now from the end of my contract. So I'd like to know
Yeah.
if they're going to extend it or not. So so I'd like to make sure that happens. So we're going to be looking for a finance committee person and a select board member for my contract, which should be very straightforward. But it needs to get done. That's my update on contracts. Calendar. I just wanted to make sure that we set future dates. We have March 2nd. We have to meet with the finance committee and select board as a personnel board. Is everyone free for March 2nd?
What
Yes.
day of the week is that?
Tuesday.
Tuesday.
Since we don't leave the house very much, let me check, but we have just a couple things going on Tuesdays and Thursdays. Let me see if that's one of them.
Unfortunately, I have a work event that night.
Okay.
And Becky, I'm sorry, I was busy looking at the calendar. Now, this is for, the 2nd is going to be for what?
It's the salary compensation
Okay,
meeting where we come up with a COLA number.
okay.
We'll vote on that.
And that's going to be at what time?
I think 7. It's scheduled for 7.
Oh, 7? Okay, I can make it.
Oh, great.
I thought it was like at 6, like our personnel committee meetings, and I have a work event till 7. Okay.
I can be there.
That's really good that you can make it. That's a really interesting meeting that we have every year, and it would be really good for you to see it.
Experience it.
We get quite a bit of conversation about what's the right rate each year.
And following up on that, the last agenda item, COLA references for 2021. I sent out an email to everybody. I just picked out a couple of sources. I don't know if you guys know of other and better ones. George often comes up with something, and Ralph. The Social Security number this year, the increase this year is 1.3%. The rate of inflation is 2.24%. And then there's always the conversation how that fits into the town's COLA number when this is the only increase to compensation that people get. There are no step raises. And how that functions. George usually gives a little talk about the current labor market. And
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not sure where it's going. This year is probably going to be pretty flat.
Well, I think a lot of people are, people who have been trying to, I think people are going to talk about COVID and the impact it has on the taxpayers. But Becky, every year, don't you put together a little table that shows what the budget impact is at 1, 2, or 3%?
Yep.
That would be really helpful. And my recollection is it's not each percentage point was,
Like 8,000.
okay, is that what it is? Okay.
It's been ranging from like 62 to 7,800 or something, depending. I think it's around that.
Yeah, okay. So it could be as high as $21,000 at a 3%.
Yeah. And that's the highest it's ever gone.
That's the total increase on the whole budget year to year, just based on salary increases for existing positions that don't have contracts. That's
Well,
question.
it includes the contracts because currently we've gotten it back to the case where all the department heads' contracts
Oh,
are based on the COLA.
oh, that's great. Yeah, I remember we were talking about doing that. That's done. Excellent.
Yep, we got it done. But you still have the police union as an outlier.
What about the school union?
It's under the school budget, so we have no impact on that. They negotiate it separately. And their budget, we only have one number for their budget.
Yep, good point. Forgot about that.
Yeah. Ralph, can you think of any other sources we should be looking at for guidance on this conversation?
No. I remember you sent out the FERCog list, but that was for something different. That was just that we will use that when we do the police and town administrator, the payroll for the chart, what is it? What the town administrators across the different towns get. So
Yep.
that was a little bit different. I had that up. No.
Yeah, the only thing about the CPI is there's so many different CPIs. I bet you there's probably a municipal employee CPI out there somewhere.
I
But,
was searching, I couldn't, but I will look some more.
well, I don't know if you need to. I mean, the high level is probably good enough. It's just to give us a range anyways. We're not going to use that number. Or we haven't in the past, right?
Right. Any other concerns or thoughts or information you want gathered on this issue in preparation of the second?
No,
A
just
copy of the budget for 2022, where we are right now.
Yeah, I was just going to ask George, what should we get from the FinCom so that we can see what they're thinking about?
Yeah,
Because they're probably plugging a number in right now.
we haven't seen a draft of the 22 budget yet.
Okay.
I know, Becky, I want to, I hate to put pressure on you, but
No, it's
I
no
always want to
pressure.
see that thing.
And in a similar line of thought, the new thing that came in that was a letter from Ryan Mayu, our treasurer. I forwarded that email to you guys. It's a letter to the select board and the personnel board. Ryan was hired 2.5 years ago. I think he's in his 3rd year. He's been doing an outstanding job from all accounts, but he's asking if there's he would like to see an increase to his rate of pay. He did come in quite a bit lower than the exiting treasurer who worked with him and is, available for support whenever he needs it, and is really helped him get a full grasp on the job. He's asking for a base salary increase of $4,538 annually. He did a chart comparing it to the average wage in Franklin County using the FERCog. The
Yeah.
chart he fills out for us now. So he utilized and built a chart showing the average rate of pay there is $24.70. And I believe that's what he used to calculate that figure at 22 hours a week. So he would be basically being asked to move down on the salary chart, on down in steps.
Down in steps.
Yeah, down, that doesn't
Across
sound
in
right.
steps,
What?
across in steps to a larger number
Okay,
for rate of pay.
That's what you meant by down.
okay.
And the other thing that is pointed out in this, in his chart, he does a summary of his work. And he keeps, you know, he's been tracking all his hours since he started. And it appears his average hours are closer to 29 hours a week than 22. So there's another way it could be looked at would be potentially increasing the hours to something closer to what he's actually working on
So
average.
he's paid on a salary basis. Becky.
And he
That's
was
an
hired,
18%.
for 22 hours?
Yes.
What is his salary? What is his base salary?
1 second.
25,462 according to the survey. At 22 and a half hours.
Yep. And he started at 24,000.
he's been-
Gabe ended at 27,264. So he
Oh.
started like $3,264 below where she ended. And at that point, he did not have experience. But he was a assistant bank manager and had a lot of, he's the chairman of the select board in Orange. So has a lot of municipal he knows how budgets run, municipal budgets run, which was very helpful. But he has really stepped up and learned a great deal in a very short time and has been extremely professional in his response to our employees, especially, which is, well, he has been across the board with all, going out to bond on the fiber network. He's had a number of large projects. He's interfaced with other local officials very well. The growing area, I think he references in the letter that the time sucker is on the HR part, which isn't, because of the handling of retirement benefits and health insurance benefits, it takes a great deal of time. He handles all the teachers at the school and, so it's about 60, 70 people that he works with and helps explain retirement benefits. He helps explain all the health insurance benefits and does all the interfacing with the insurance companies and the retirement agencies. So I think it's a pretty well thought out request. I told him, of course, I couldn't promise anything, but that we would look at it. I'd take it to the personnel board and I've emailed it to the select board. And I guess it's an issue that you'd want to think through whether we can make these kind of changes this year, if it's something to look at next year, or if the change in hours, the fact he's working so much more should be taken into account at this time.
Becky, if we were to address this. That would be, would we do another subgroup where we just come in, we talk about this? It would be like the personnel board, the FinCom, maybe a select board member, and we talk about it that way, because it's more than just the personnel board.
Right.
Right.
I agree.
And what happens is if one individual is changed dramatically on the chart, people, especially in that group, you
Yeah,
know, all the financial people will also feel that they need a change if you're doing it by rate and experience, because we have top professionals in their field. Our accountant is top notch, our collector is top notch. Our assessor has grown quickly into his job and is doing an excellent job. So what happened about 8, 9 years ago when we started looking at one sector, you have to consider it against the chart as a whole.
mhm,
If you don't just do a lateral moving him down like we've done, moved across a couple steps, like with the highway guy that's been there a long time and deserved a little more than he was receiving, you can go laterally. But if you do, even when you do that, everyone else will know and feel that they are just as deserving of an increase as the new individual asking
sure.
for it. So,
You'd cause another problem in another area.
right, then the whole thing kind of unravels. So
Unravels, yeah.
I think it is, again, like you suggested, Ralph, one where we would need conversation across boards, like in a negotiation to review this.
So that's what you were talking about. If we can't do it this year, maybe we look at, instead of he was hired for the 22.5 hours. Is that right?
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah, and so what if we were then say, no, okay, what we're going to do is we're going to pay for the 29 hours he's working.
That could be one solution, or
Yeah.
you could say, well, you know, maybe go with something halfway,
Yeah.
like 26 hours. Because when you know, like Ellen McKay used to get her job done in many fewer hours when she worked full-time in Boylston.
Mm-hmm.
But now that she's retired, she's working a solid 15 hours. And, you know, so there's arguments to be made by every individual. But she doesn't go over that. Her time has always been 15 hours, so it's not really an issue.
Sure. So Becky, when do we want to have that meeting?
Well, first, it would, do you want to use the representative model and have just one person from each committee? Or,
I would like that. Or what does the committee feel about that?
Well, could we combine it with the March 2nd meeting?
no,
Oh,
Yeah.
bummer.
Yeah. Why not?
because that's with all committees. That's not a representative one. It's, you know, trying to make a decision on that issue with 18 people. I think you need to spend some time and looking at the facts and figures seriously, and then taking it back to your own committees. Because to do it with everybody there, it would be,
Unwieldy.
yeah.
Looking at the chart, the municipal chart, though, I can tell you that he's right. The hourly rate that the treasurers are getting are all higher than his. Sorry, I sidetracked. I was just
So
observing
you're
that.
saying, you just said he gets the hourly rate that other treasurers in Franklin County? No, what were
No.
you saying?
Lower. His is lower than most others.
Which one are you looking at?
I'm looking at the FERCog Municipal Wage and
okay.
Salary Survey.
Yeah.
It's down on page 60, the 60th slide.
Yeah, and it appears for the most part more on his summary, it says average hours are 18.88. an average rate is 24.7.
Hmm.
And he's, his rate is 21.76.
I will say, there's only one town that has more than 29 hours. It's Irving. Well, there's some that have little footnotes, but for the most part, Leverett, they're 20 hours. New Salem 10, Row 20, Shelburne 20. So why he's working 29 hours and the others are working so much less, unless they're
Yeah.
not, and it just says they are.
Well,
Yeah.
that's probably what their basic hour, what the basic hours are rated at.
Yeah, the base.
Yeah,
I'll tell you, for example, New Salem, she doesn't handle the school. They have the school for New Salem Wendell, Swift River, has a treasurer just for the school and who does all the HR work. So I'm pretty sure that's the situation.
That would
Which
explain that
A
one,
very
yes.
different job.
Yeah.
and then but staying with New Salem, the hourly rate is quite a bit different. It's 33.22.
Yep.
And he's getting 21 something?
Yep. 21.76. Only Wendell pays less. No, and Warwick.
Warwick.
Warwick's at 1909 and Wendell's at 2163.
You're making those calculations, Becky?
I'm
18,000.
I'm reading off his chart.
Oh, his chart. Oh, I should look at that. Because
Yeah.
I'm looking at this.
It's the one that she sent out.
Yeah, no, I've got it. I got it. I didn't
Okay.
scroll all the way down.
Wait, when did you send these emails that you're
Tonight.
saying? Oh, today? I was probably trying to get my shot. None of you guys have been through that yet, right?
No, it looks like it might take us a little bit longer than we anticipated.
Yeah. Anyway, I didn't see any emails, but I will look. But if you
Yeah.
send them to Mike's email, I'll have to check.
Yeah.
Please change my email.
Okay. Sorry, Peg.
The mass, what is it? The mass site for COVID sign up crashed this morning.
And then it crashed again. And
Yeah,
the 211 number to call, you'd call and you'd get them. We didn't get them, but apparently people that did get them, they were going online and having the system crash. It wasn't, they were using the same system, the 211 call.
yeah.
What a mess. What a mess.
There would be potentially there's a third way to do this. What do you guys feel about meeting with representatives from Select Board and Finance Committee to discuss this first?
I think it's a good idea.
Mhm.
Instead of just one representative, because you guys are kind of deeper in the weeds on this than they are. Okay, so let me whole board.
Who do you want? Who wants to represent the personnel board at this one?
Do you want representatives, Ralph? I was suggesting that
Or
the
do you
rep
just want?
from Select Board and Finance Committee meet with you guys as a full board.
Okay, that's better.
That's
I like
good.
that. That is a much better way of doing it.
Okay, great. So now we just need to figure out when you want to do
Could we do it March 2nd?
that.
Okay, no.
How about Thursday, the 4th? Or the next March 11th, which is a Thursday, or another Tuesday, if that works for people?
I don't know what the FinCom schedule looks like.
FinCom meetings are usually on Tuesday. Yep, it's all Tuesdays coming up. So if you did it on a the 4th or the 11th, that should be a good date. Are you guys all free either of those dates?
Both look good for me.
Yeah, me too.
Great,
Yes.
I'm good.
Mhm.
okay. Which one you want? 4 or 11? 11?
11.
Okay, great. That'll,
And what time?
6?
Sure.
6 is good. Gives me time, gives me time to hop in the car and get home.
Would you prefer 6:30, Ralph?
No, that 6 is fine. If it's good with everybody else.
Yeah, it works for me.
Okay. That's a plan. I think that's everything on my list.
What about what did at the very beginning, we talked about, we were gonna, oh, the handbook and all that stuff. Are we just gonna do that another time?
Yep.
Okay. And what was the other question I
We
had?
have to get through all the time sensitive stuff,
Right,
the
okay,
contracts and the budget numbers that the FinCom will need for the budget. And then we can get back to that.
oh, and I was gonna say, we need, are we not gonna be doing anything this coming year? I said I would be the rep on the highway.
As soon as Tim figures out if he is going to request 3 months or a year and 3 months, you'll
Okay,
be,
so should I stay in that one? I was gonna say I could
Yeah.
move over to the town administrator, but then we still don't have a rep on the town administrator.
well, I have Ralph.
Okay,
Becky,
Oh.
when you say 3 months, you mean,
that's right. I'm sorry.
no, that's okay. I apologize.
I'm done.
Okay. Becky, when you say 3 months, do you mean June of 21 or June of 22 or September of 21, 30th of 21 or 22?
September. His
Okay.
anniversary date is in September, and so that's what he wants
Got
to,
it.
when he wants to leave, because of, to get another full year.
Okay.
And Becky, your contract runs out June 30th?
Yes, 2021.
Okay, and I do have one more thing.
Great.
Since I'm trying to do notes, if I send notes out to people, could you respond and just let me know, yes, they're okay, or here are my changes?
Sure.
So that I can send them on and get them recorded, because there are gaps in minutes on the personnel board, because I've held them.
Okay.
Becky, you're
I'm
wondering.
wondering if, so typically we need to do that in a meeting.
Right,
That
Oh,
has to
yeah,
happen
you're right,
in a
you're
meeting.
right.
You could, just be,
well, can't you do, that's how, what we do on another committee I'm on is we review them, but then when we come to the next meeting, we say accepted, or we make changes individually, I think, online.
yeah, but
Or
see,
no, I send it out and then we bring them in and we make the changes in the meeting.
right,
how we
that's
do it.
what we need to do. We
Okay,
need to make
Okay.
the changes in the meeting.
so I will send copies to you guys
And then
And-
bring your,
and bring your changes to the meeting. That's
Yep.
what we've done.
And it's an efficient way to get through the minutes because everybody will be ready to talk about it.
yeah,
I didn't hear what George said. What, George?
I was just saying that's a real efficient way to do it because then we're all prepared to talk to it. And we can
Right,
improve
exactly.
them quickly.
It takes a lot less time.
Yes.
Okay. So George, do I have your email or
I'm
I'll
sure
send it
it's,
to you.
okay, Becky will
Oh,
send
no,
it to me.
George, you just tell her what it is. That'll save time. No.
well, I think it's on an email that Becky sent today with
Oh,
the
okay.
COLA increase. And it's the one that's,
I haven't seen it yet. Yeah. Go ahead.
yeah, so it's m.g.arvans@gmail.com.
Okay.
but you'll see it in there. You can double check it.
Yeah, I just hadn't seen any of those emails. Okay, good.
Okay. Hey, Ralph.
Becky, when are we scheduled to meet and discuss your contract?
You want to give me a date? I don't have the other two people, but if you give me a date, we can shoot for whatever date you give me.
That's just like pulling it out of thin air.
Yeah. But you can look at your calendar.
That's like pulling it out of thin air.
So how that worked.
Yeah, how how soon do you want to do it, and how much lead time do we need to give some of the other folks?
A week?
So if we were to do it like, how about the 4th?
Let me just pull up the calendar quick. I'm not, and you're suggesting what time?
How about like 6:30?
Okay.
Well, we need to talk to the other committees to get somebody appointed
Yeah.
from the other committees.
I'll be
So
talking
maybe
to
that's
them
maybe
on
that's too
Tuesday.
soon. Pardon?
Okay. Yeah, the 4th is good. Because it's community preservation, that's all, at 6:30. So we could do that at 6. We can shoot for 6 o'clock on March 4th. Okay,
Yes.
and yeah, and on Tuesday, if it's yeah, because it's only the 23rd, so that should be enough time for people to know if they're available then.
Okay.
Because I'll be talking to both FinCom and Select Board on Tuesday, the 23rd. So that's a good suggestion. Thank you, Ralph.
And you'll send out a little invite with all the nice thing, where I can log in and get all that, I can sign in to Zoom and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
Because I save the emails.
okay. And I'll send the job description and a copy of the contract.
Thank
I'll
you very
send
much.
that out to the full personnel board and
Yes.
to the committee.
Yes. Now, just one, on the one with the town admin, we're going to be doing the town administrator. I'm involved in that, but I'm the representative from the FinCom. I mean, the personnel board.
Personnel board.
Right.
Okay. Okay, very good.
And so what happens, these negotiations are in executive session. So they're not, yeah,
No minutes.
Not open to the public.
right. But the committees can give general guidance to, how does that work? It gets a little tricky,
Hmm.
but not to worry, this is going to be pretty straightforward from, at least on my side.
Good, good. Okay.
Yeah, there's been this like 60-page town administrator's contract going around that's supposed to be ironclad and really wonderful to have. I don't think I'm going to be presenting that. So we'll stick with the 3-page down and dirty contract for now.
I'm already excited.
Keep
Great.
it simple.
Keep it
Yeah.
simple. Okay, anything else? Any other questions?
Next meeting is the, when is it? It's 3/2.
That's reading, that's select board, FinCom and personnel.
So it's not, how about a regular personnel board meeting? When do you want to have a full personnel board meeting? Outside of the, well, you're having one the 11th on the treasurers, so we can decide another meeting date, whether you want another one in March or wait till.
Yeah. Because we're gonna have the whole, we'll have the personnel, yes, the personnel board, the full board there on the 11th, right?
Yeah, and we can make the treasurer issue the first item, and then when the other reps leave, you can go on to your other business. So the
Okay,
next full meeting will be the 11th, but we'll see you all on the 2nd.
all
Yeah.
right.
Do you have a
Right.
standard meeting time each month?
We've
Third Thursday or
settled-
something like that?
settled on 6 o'clock, it seems like, was the compromise.
Oh, I'm sorry, not time, but, all right, 6 o'clock, that's fine.
We tried for a third week of the month, but it wasn't, it got all jumbled up.
So
We
we just
always-
make it up as we go.
Well, we try to shoot for as George, as you said, the third Thursday of the month, but things seem to happen.
It's the third Thursday this week, isn't it? But it was
is.
a total accident, so
It is.
Yeah, the canceled meeting from last week.
yes.
Actually, I think it's the fourth Thursday.
Is it really?
Yeah. This is the
Today is the-
25th. Yeah, it is the fourth.
Really?
I
Today's the
think so.
19th.
Aren't I looking at February? Maybe I was.
Yeah,
looking
today's
at-
the 18th.
Yeah.
You're a week
18th.
ahead of us.
No, it's the third.
Oh, it is, yes, you're right. It is the 18th. Oh, yeah,
You're a week ahead of us.
yeah, I am.
By then you'll have your COVID shot. You'll feel better.
Yeah, right. Maybe that'll help. Don't I wish?
Okay.
Okay, all righty.
All right.
So
Thank you,
then-
everyone. Thank you for
Right.
Have a good night.
tracking down
Bye-bye.
George.
See ya.
Bye.
Good night. Good night, Peg.
Good night.